Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. I'm Tundra Abiola.
Good morning. Welcome back. I'm Veronica Odeka.
Our first guest, Wale Gomez, is a fellow Institute of Management Consultants and the managing director of Quant Capital Limited, a private equity firm. He's also the current chairman of Nigeria First International Forum and a learned political commentator who is here to discuss the state of the nation, even as Nigeria approaches the 2019 general election. Welcome to the morning show, Mr. Gomez.
Good morning. We're glad to actually have you on here.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you.
So let's start off with your assessment of the Buhari administration with regard to security.
It's not only my view, it's the view of all Nigerians. I mean, most of Nigerians here.
Yes.
That they're not actually doing very well. In the sense that yesterday we heard so many people killed in the northeastern part of Nigeria. And murders everywhere here and there. So the security arm is in a mess. And then the economy. The economy is now in a nosedive situation where ordinary Nigerians can't even afford a 3-square meal. And on the area of anti-corruption, if you look around and see all the people there said who have been going after, none has been convicted yet. In all spheres of life, you're presumed innocent until you're proven guilty. And right now, nobody has been found guilty from what we can see. So I'll give them, if I was going to give them a mark, I'll give them about 4.
4 out
of 10.
But you just said now you're speaking for most Nigerians. Do you have any statistics to back this? Have you conducted a poll?
Yeah, I just did a skewed analysis of where we're going. I went into the marketplace and I did my own private interview with people. Often people that I've seen just said no, they're not happy at all with what's happening, what's going on. They were expecting more, but they're getting less.
So would you say, in your opinion, based on these 3 prongs, is there any one that you can say maybe, possibly, that we're seeing some sort of change? Because realistically, is 4 years enough time to give any president that time to actually make that much of a difference, especially if this has been the issues that we've been having in our country for over 30 years?
Okay, I'll say 4 years is enough for you to notice, to experience slight difference in what's happening. I remember in America when the mortgage structure came down.
Yes.
And George Bush had really messed up the whole thing. And Obama came in, he didn't look at the past, he looked at the future and rolled up his sleeves, and within 4 years, things started changing. I cannot even see one single thing that will give me the impetus to say, hey, I want these guys to come back again. So
in your opinion, it's safe enough to say that you don't feel, based on this scorecard, that he's able to be re-elected again, in your opinion?
If I'm what I say, optician, I'm an optician, like I want to see persons, I've gone to see someone's eyes, and I've done a surgery, and the person can't see clearly, I won't say I've passed. I say I haven't done a good job because the person cannot see. I personally cannot see anything that would warrant me saying, hey, give them a small mark. Nothing at all. So
do you think that there's someone else that's more situated for the positions? In Atiku's case, do you feel he has a better chance, a better shot? Or do you feel like it's almost 50-50 at this point?
No. The reason why I personally prefer Atiku is because of one single thing. He has been able to create jobs. Jobs everywhere. He's got over 50,000 from what my research, over 50,000 people working under him. And that's the sort of person that you want to really take over the helm of affairs in Nigeria. Nigeria is not just supermarket where you just come and throw people around. And Nigeria is a very complicated country. And you need someone with intellect to really understand how to run Nigeria. Nigeria is not... But there's so many intelligent people in Nigeria. Everywhere in the world, there's no single place in the world that you wouldn't find a Nigerian working and working hard.
Yes,
We're not lazy people. We're the hardest working set of human being on the face of this earth. To be treated this way and to be messed up and just thrown around like if we're a piece of trash, it's just not fair on us. And so we need someone with a little bit of intellect to really handle the affairs of this country.
But do you feel that intellect is good enough? Because just as you've said, one man can't rule a country at the end of the day. And Nigeria is really difficult. It takes intelligence, but even more so than that to rule a country. And I know that Buhari's approach is usually someone who's a bit more observant. He's not very outspoken. He's not very take charge, command. So do you possibly think that maybe that's not really a fair assumption?
It's not really an issue of only intellect. It's an issue of capability, right? I cannot see how a person can take 6 months to bring in a team. When our Baba Obasanjo came in, immediately he put the right people, experts, on different areas. And what did you see? You found out things went changing. With what we have right now, 6 months, and then we brought out people that just not the right people to run. You got an industry, the pillars, the 3 pillars of any economy in this world: housing, power, and what? The 3rd one. And what do we have? One single person who is not even competent enough to run those industry, a lawyer, to run them. And that's why things are really in a mess. We need experts in those 3 areas. And so it's not about intellect. It's about the ability to be able to choose the right people at the right time. That's what we need. We need people that, I'm sure from the word go, I'm not working for him, I'm not talking about him. I'm sure with the person that is coming in, Atiku, that I think was going to come in, he will have gotten his team ready. He went to Dubai, strategy meetings. That's what we're talking about. People that will just take Nigeria and run it. Period. That's what I want.
Well, Atiku Abubakar will not come in, to use your parlance, without an election. So let's look at the hot topic issue today.
All right.
Let's go to INEC and the issue of Hajia Amina Zakari, who, it's been widely reported that she's been appointed in the newly established Electoral Collation Center. She's been appointed to head that. The controversy is not to do with her qualifications. She's eminently qualified, having served at INEC as a NEC, National Electoral Commissioner. She was appointed in the Jonathan years. That's not the issue. The issue is her purported relationship, whether by blood, as is argued by some, or by marriage, as is argued by another group, to President Buhari. And obviously, this raises a conflict of interest. What is your view on this conflict of interest? Our institutions, is INEC, the I in INEC, the independence, is it strong enough? Is it strong enough as an institution to withstand such a conflict of interest?
In all sincerity, Madam Zakari is very competent to run any department of INEC. The problem we have here is not her running it. The problem we have is what you just stated, conflict of interest. From the word go, we've heard that she's related in one way or the other to the president. So INEC as a body should consider that as a conflict right there and make myself personally and my family and people around me comfortable that we're being treated fairly. What happens if the election takes place and Buhari wins? People will feel uncomfortable because they'll still feel that the reason why he won is because of that person there that's changed the figure. So for things to be fair and correct, I think she should recuse herself. There are so many departments in INEC that she can work very well. Please, let her go to those departments.
But the outcry against this appointment of hers is deafening. There is no way it has not reached her or the chairman of INEC. What do you think informs this, their sort of resistance to doing what a lot of people like yourself are advising? Why has no action been taken?
I think it's probably pressure from somewhere that is telling people, hey, there's nothing anybody can do.
So INEC is not independent. Their independence has been compromised at this point.
I won't want to say that. I won't want to be held responsible for that. But the Nigerians can make their own judgments. This is just not right. This is definitely not right. If anything happens and the election comes place and somebody wins, definitely there's going to be backfire on that. Hi, there's something wrong somewhere. Something has been done somewhere. So for us to have a clean, if Buhari wins the election, hey, I'll support. But if he wins through someone's attempt to do things that we feel is the wrong thing to have been done, then there might be issues with Nigerians. And I'm telling you, I don't want the case of what happened on June 12th. I want us to have a system. I want us to have a voting system. I want us to have a fair, correct election, period. What
do you think the opposition should do at this point to ensure that we have free, fair, and credible elections?
The opposition should keep crying out about this. This is number one. then they should do their own work very well, because it's not going to be an easy ride. It's going to be a very tough ride. And yes, some people might be interested in some parties and people interested in others, but it's going to be a very difficult one. And so they need to keep on talking about it, especially with this Zachary issue. It's not really fair on us Nigerians to be treated this way.
Speaking of all the issues that we're having in the country, obviously elections coming up right around the corner. We can't get enough of this conversation. But what is your take on the terrorist attacks in the Northeast? And do you feel that possibly, if it's not under control, we might have to postpone the elections like we did in 2015?
I pray not. I pray not we don't have to postpone this, because we're eager to go ahead with this election. But with the security things happening in the Northeast, it's scaring me, because like the governor of Zamfara says that he wants to get himself out and bring someone in.
Governor Yari.
Yeah, the governor, Yari, yes. And that's scary. That's a state of emergency. And that is very scary, because then there's no complete number of states and things have to be postponed. But I pray not. I pray that we need to take hold of things. 9 billion naira was taken out to take care of security, and where we still having the same issues going on. So we need to. The military need to take charge of these things and let's see results going on, because we need that election starting for February 16th.
I know that we had a guest on here yesterday, and he did talk about the fact that they are trying to curtail the Boko Haram situation in the Northeast, but in a situation where it can't be curtailed, we're not saying that we shouldn't have the election, but maybe postpone it so that the safety of people being secure in their situation to come out and vote is ensured.
Okay. I won't go for that, because if we keep postponing, something happens again in the North Central. If we postpone, something happens. Let's just go for our election, and let's. If it's going to be only 10 states, let's have some. Let's change this country. You know, let me tell you something, right? I get excited about Nigeria. I don't have any other country. Well, I don't have any other country. I'll say that in quotes.
Yes.
This is my country. I love this country to bits. It's just not fair the way we're treated. It's just Nigerians are working too hard and they make life too difficult for us. So we need to have a structure. One of the biggest problems that we have in this country is that we don't have a structure. We don't have things in place, because I can't understand why you come in and then you run after people that have stolen and then leave the economy the way it is. If we have a structure, the structure will be the one going after them, It will be the one going after them. Why are you running the economy?
Yeah.
The economy is in shambles. The exchange rate is 361. That's too much. What's that saying is that we're not exporting anything. If I went to the seaport the other day where they bring in goods, a lot of goods come into Nigeria, but the ship go back empty. Which means we're not sending things out.
We are not.
So that's the reason why our exchange rate is so high. We're just consuming nation. We have to be producing nation. That's the problem. Not sending yam to Houston and being returned for contamination. No, that's not production. Go to Aba. All those people that are producing shoes and bags and everything, assist them. Give them money to turn into a modern factory who can export to Italy.
I think we had a guest on here yesterday. He talked about that, Mr. Alukani, Ambassador Alukani, and mentioned the fact that they are looking at different sectors, from leather in Kano to possibly mining.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah,
that's what we should be seen as the hub of Africa.
We have a long way to go, so make no apologies for thumping the table. I like your passion for Nigeria.
Yes, Nigeria first.
Yes, we have a long way to go, and we will get there. But I want to know if this passion is what informed your work with your Rebuild Nigeria initiative and Nigeria First International Forum. Can you tell us about those projects and what inspired
Rebuild Nigeria, I'm no more the chairman, I'm not part of them, but Rebuild Nigeria was formed out of, I went for a seminar where Peter Obi made that statement that we need to rebuild Nigeria, and I said, wow, that's what we need to do. We need to really start all over again and start from scratch. Let me tell you something, my sisters. We've messed up as our generation. Honestly, if we say we haven't messed up, we're lying to ourselves. But what have we got planned for our children? We need to start planning for them now. We need to start from scratch. That's what that rebuild was all about. To rebuild Nigeria, and the only person that we felt could rebuild Nigeria is His Excellency, And we felt that at that time, when I was there, that we need to bring in areas. And but Nigeria first is a different ballgame. Nigeria first means thinking Nigeria in everything we do. Nigerians for Nigeria. Period. That's what Nigeria first is all about. Nigeria for Nigeria. Which means everything we do when you go to the airport, things are in a mess, we get up and say, this should not happen. You go to the airport, customs men ask you for things, you say, no, we're not going to accept it. No, so they start thinking, seeing Nigerians and Nigeria. I remember those days when we used to go to London. The mere fact that you're a Nigerian, once you go into a store, they'll shut the door because you're a Nigerian.
Yes.
You're Nigerian.
Nigerian money was like Arab money back in the day.
We had that pride in us of that. Yes. But you go to London now and go to any store, the first thing they look at Nigeria, oh shoot.
Yeah, they assume your credit card is fake and all of that. Yes.
And then when you look at it, the biggest surgeon in the United States, the biggest brain surgeon, is a Nigerian. Aeronautics in the space, aerospace, the guy that designed a chip that took something to the moon or what, it's Nigerian. Just that Nigerian first, we should start talking about Nigerians.
But you're talking about Nigerian first, whereas our current climate now is more polarized than ever before. Tribalism is rife, religious bigotry is rife. What has caused this schism that we have now, where we're less divided? You mentioned June 12th earlier. Yeah. Can you imagine today the idea of a Muslim-Muslim ticket? Nasiru Al-Rufai is fielding a Muslim-Muslim ticket in Kaduna, and there was a huge outcry. So it's inconceivable to attempt that on a national level in today's Nigeria. What has happened to us, and how can we restore our previous unity?
I have a dream.
Oh, MLK.
I have a dream that one day I will not be judged by the contents of my face, by the tribal marks of my face, but by the contents of my heart as a Nigerian.
Absolutely.
And the thing I have is that I want to be able to get up from here and go to Nazareth and live comfortably without even thinking the fact that I'm not a northerner. That's what we want. And that's the reason why, personally, I'm going for my man, Atiku. Because he is a deep tribalized man. Let me tell you one day. Now, one day I was with him. This is just for your free. We were with him somewhere, and this guy was about ready to. That's how I felt from him. He was about going somewhere, and one of us, his clothes, his agbada, had gone through mud while we were going after him. You know, this guy got up. His Excellency got up and was washing the agbada of the man. Actually, we couldn't take the picture because I'm not here to sell him. Yes. But I'm just telling the human being, this guy, he doesn't care if you're north, south, east, or west. Of course, he's got wives and everything. So he doesn't care. The moment, that's why I say Nigerian first. I want to be a Nigerian first before anything else. I want to be seen as a Nigerian. So some people do have options. If anything happens in this country now, they can pack their bag and go. Yes. Some of us don't have that choice. So if we take Nigeria first, everything else we do, we'll have to think twice. Love ourselves. You were saying that El-Rufai wants Muslim. What stops him from doing that?
But there's been a lot of outcry about it in Kaduna State. There's a lot of mistrust now with the current climate.
It's because of the foundation. There's a foundation. When Abiola was there, he took the Muslim. This doesn't mean that people are different. I was alive then, you were alive. Most of us were alive then. I mean, we could have said, no, we don't want it. No, but at that time, the environment was just clean.
So why has it changed? What happened to us?
Do you know that during the time of Jonathan, if someone had come out with a Muslim, there wouldn't have been any ulubulu about it. But
now.
Why? Because look at what's happening in Benue. I know where you're going. Look at what's happening in Benue. The people that are killed in Benue are Christians. Look at Yati, or what they call themselves. Meyata and Allah. They're saying that if they don't pick Buhari because he's a Muslim, the country will burn. Why? Let's have a choice. It's just your faith. It's what you believe in. It's not anybody's belief. So everybody has a right to. That's why we're Nigerians. You have the right to who you choose. But that has nothing to do. If I see a competent Muslim person, I'm a Christian. If I see a competent Christian person, I'm a Christian. I'll pick whoever I want to pick as long as it will deliver what I want him to deliver. Nigeria first. If we don't think about Nigeria and our children yet more. The other day I was going somewhere and I saw one of those people carrying children to beg for money. And I looked at the child. I said, do we have hope for this child? Are we planning for this child? When this child grows up, is he going to be begging as well? What do we have as Nigerians? How can I get up in the morning and have a job? I don't have a local government to go to and say, hey, I don't have a job. Can you please get me money? And they will provide for every Nigerian that don't have a job in our local government. That's the day I'll be happy to be a Nigerian.
But then why is it that the candidate that you're supporting, Atiku Abubakar, does not highlight a social welfare program in his manifesto? Because well, it's not highlighted. And a lot of Atiku supporters are vehemently against the trader money scheme.
Oh, yeah, I am.
So why, if you believe in social welfare?
There's a difference between that. The trader money came in when the elections was about to come in. Why wasn't there trader money about 4 years ago?
Okay, so it's the timing you're
It's the timing. That's number one. Number two, the money is just a giveaway because you can't even find the people you're giving the money to, so there's no chance of it coming back. Nigeria don't prepay easily. You go to the banks, you find out so many bad loans. We don't. I mean, let's don't deceive ourselves.
So you're just saying we're not there yet.
We're not there.
So we shouldn't be.
I would have preferred, if they were going to give something to people, I would have preferred get everybody to register in the local government. If you don't have a job, we'll give you 5,000. We'll take that 5,000 for people that are working. So you know that, out of your paycheck, 5,000 is coming out for unemployed.
Is this Atiku's social welfare program?
I'm not talking for Atiku.
For him?
No,
Okay.
I don't represent Atiku.
Okay.
I'm just saying my passion for him because of the love I have for him. I mean, every other institution, the structure, we haven't built a structure yet. We need to start building a structure. And that is why when I met him, the thing he told verbatim was that when he comes in, each local government will be mandated to take care of every citizen within his locality. That is what's called structure. We can't just be... Why you have people running around with children begging for money? It's because you don't have a structure. If I don't have a place to live, and I have my local government, I can go there. I don't have a place to live. They'll look for a place for you, pay for you, and be paying for you. The government, you've been collecting money from people that stole money. What have you been doing for it? All this money that came in, the 15 trillion that you collected in the last budget, you spent 9 trillion. There's a shortfall of 6 trillion. What happened to it? 6 trillion, if you divide with all the local governments, say Nigerians, 5,000 per month you collect. You know how crazy Nigerians will have been that now we have a government. But now, nothing like that. Yes, so what's the difference between now and Jonathan's time? Nothing.
We do know that, just like you said, when it comes to unemployed or people that have nowhere to live, in other countries it is done where they establish places for them to live, housing projects and some sort of aid from the government. So in this situation where we're going into election period, what, in your opinion, can the president, whoever is elected, do to facilitate a healing process for our country and unite us as one?
Number one, we need to pray. That's mine. Because...
Did you say we need to pray?
Yeah, we need to pray.
Okay.
Pray for the right president, right? That's number one. Number two, I cannot see myself, if I was the president of Nigeria, the day one blood was slaughtered in Benue State, I would be in Benue State. Compassionate grounds. Feel that these are my people. You can't kill Trump as mad as he is. You go and kill one American soul, they'll finish your country. I'm telling you. The day Nigerian president gets up and carries a dead child and shows compassion, that's the day we'll start having a healing in this country. Well, they don't care. Even before going there, you see limousines and crowd, and just for compassionate reason. Please, Nigerians are being killed.
Our soldiers die. And there's no representative of the military at their funeral.
My sister, none. Not only soldiers, children killed, women, pregnant women killed. And our people running us, they don't get up to say, we can't be killing ourselves like this. If the president has to leave his seat in Abuja and go and live in Benue, he say, you cannot kill my people. That's what the president of Tanzania, he got up when he became president and said the country has to be cleaned out. He rolled up his sleeves and started working. Go to that country now. We can't. With this posh presidential, I saw our presidential. I'm sorry, I hope I won't be picked up. I saw, no, I don't care. I saw the barricade when he was going to visit Shagari. I saw the vehicles going, almost 20 vehicles. What for? People just died. We should have compassion for ourselves as Nigerians. We should love ourselves as Nigerians. We don't.
So you think compassion and just showing more so of a transparent emotion is a way to facilitate the healing process for the country?
Nigerians are very emotional people.
Yes.
Just show us that you care. My sister, people, the day I saw the dead in I cried. Why are they doing this to us? Because these people don't have people? Because you killed one person from that area, you see the soldiers that will come. But Benue people and Taraba people, they don't have nobody to talk to them. They can just kill them and throw them mass grave and go. The moment we have a president that has that compassion, the moment the president can take a person's clothes and wash it with his hand. My sister was with his hand that this man was washing. That's when I knew this man has compassion.
Servant leadership is what.
That is what I'm talking about. I don't care about all the paraphernalias of governments. Just love your people. The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. Love Nigerians. Nigerians first. You are my family.
Yeah. But Mr.
There was
Gomez,
a day. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you. Carry on.
There was a day I was coming from London. They were about ready to deport. They were about ready to deport a Nigerian, and I was on the plane, and people just sat down, and this lady said, "I'm dying. They're choking me." I got up. That plane did not move that day. I made sure that plane...
I think I heard about you. Were you that rabble-rouser?
I made sure that plane did not move. And I'll tell you one thing, right? It's not because of the place she was shouting. No. It was because of the fact that she was a Nigerian. You don't treat us like animals.
But what I wanted to ask you, you're talking about servant leadership, as
Yes.
I said earlier, but how do you sell the concept of servant leadership to a country like Nigeria, which actually suffered under military rule, such that we now have this fixation with the strong man? Nigerians like strength. We equate strength with efficiency. We equate strength not with oppression, which is what it is. How do you model servant leadership without coming across as weak?
So I'll give this credit to somebody. And I'll give him to him because he said the right thing I've been looking for. Power is best when not used. And that's Otumba Gbenga Daniel. Because you're strong, because you have all that, does not make you God. The moment you use your power and people challenge you on that power, you've lost that power. Your question is how are we going to change? Because we're used to
yes, the strong man model.
Let me tell you something. Maybe that's what's killing us now. That's what's killing us now. We need the compassionate leader. And it's very painful. It's so sad that you're here. I shouldn't be saying this. The first compassionate president we should have had, we messed it up. That's Abiola. Nigeria will have been a totally different country. Now we have another chance. Nigerians, don't lose it. That's all I have to say. First chance, you're messed up. Second chance, don't mess up. That's because what is going on in this country now is child's play.
But with everything that we say, I understand what you're saying, and you know, the passion that you're using to convey your message is great. And a lot of Nigerians do share your sentiment. But at the end of the day, from what I've seen, is that it takes a lot more than that to convince Nigerians to vote. Even though a lot of times they know how they should vote, but there are other factors that affect the way that they do vote. So how do we change the narrative so that we are ensuring that Nigerians are voting in the right direction?
I will tell you here, right here and here, and based on my research, you'll be shocked in the next election. It will be the biggest whooping ever in this country. You'll see.
How do you plan to combat voter apathy, though, and actually get the people out to the polls?
Are they ready?
They're ready?
Nigerians are ready. This one they won't take. Nigerians are ready. I can guarantee you that Nigerians are ready to whoop somebody.
Regardless of all the insecurity issues that we're having in the country.
That's what I'm saying. They're ready. They don't want this. Nigerians don't want this. Nigerians are not happy. We were asked for a change, and they gave us coins. We need notes.
Coins of change.
I like that.
Yes.
What do you think of restructuring? It was one of the campaign promises of the Buhari administration.
Yes.
We haven't seen it materialize.
Like, all this one, they restructured now. They're not even ready for it. The person has been talking about restructuring since 2000. I read his book in 1997. And I keep saying it again. I had a one-on-one discussion with him, and he was looking at me in the face and said, the Northerners should not be scared. They'll be the one that will gain more. Because now they'll see that, hey, it's gone. They need to rethink their head and start building things. Restructuring is the only solution. Why do I have to have all the money in the central? And we're suffering down here. Then restructuring is that why do I have to have all the ministries in Abuja? Why are you having Ministry of Transport in Abuja? Or Ministry of Marines, or Marine something, when you have water in Warri? Scatter all ministries so that there will be employment in every state. Let every state be independent on their own. And just give the central some money. I mean, Nigeria won't go anywhere without restructuring. We're just going round and round and round in circles looking for an exit. We won't find it. Until we get ourselves into a family affair, restructure our country, and let every country, any state that is holding us back, that's their business. We're moving forward. We should not be where we are now.
I hear you when it comes to restructuring, but I do also feel that one of the biggest things in order to restructure is you have to kind of clean up, which has a lot to do with the corruption in this country. What is your take on anti-corruption, and how do we fight this moving forward with whichever president comes into power?
Everybody keeps talking about corruption. Yes, we are one of the biggest corrupt countries in the world. Everybody's corrupt as far as I'm concerned. Until you catch Yoruba people, they say everybody is a thief until they catch the real thief. Yes, we need to put a structure to pick up. That's why the EFCC is there. Their job is to clean up, right? If they're not working, bring someone in there. They'll do the work. The structure, the EFCC should be made to do their own job while the economy is run, like I said earlier, should be run on its own. Now, how do we clean up? One of the biggest problems we have is that we don't know how to identify ourselves. And that's why the issue of BVN should be escalated. If you have so much money in your account, like they do now, and you cannot explain where you get the billions from, then there's something wrong somewhere. In America, if you have a certain level of money, they start tracking you from there. If they say that you're a businessman, that's fine for you. If you cannot explain where you got it, then you go and explain to IRS.
But the corrupt know this. This is why you have huge cash deposits in flats, such as in Ikoyi that we heard of. They keep it in cash now. They don't put it in the bank. What else can be done to track the money and those who... Because till today, it has not been revealed to the public, in spite of the probe, who is actually responsible for that.
Then tell us.
They haven't.
If they don't, then there's something wrong somewhere. If you know that you found some money somewhere, and it belongs to this kind of person, and these are the people that own it, then let us know. I mean, if we're not knowing anything, there's something they're hiding. That's what we're saying, everybody's corrupt. Maybe compromised. I don't know. I don't want to help. It's still, I think it's in court. And let the court make a decision what they want to do with that. But corruption has to be nipped in the bud. Otherwise, this country, every country in the world, they have so many corrupt people. It's just an imbibed thing. But we need to put a very good structure in our country to take care of corruption and also to take care of the economy. We can't put them together. That's why we're stagnant this way. Nigerians, let me tell you something. Nigerians are going through a lot. A lot. I mean, this is the worst Nigeria has ever been. The worst.
But would you blame that on this government?
Yes.
Or is it attributable to the, let me use that famous phrase, 16 years of PDP misrule?
You don't want to go there.
I actually
Please
do.
go there. We would like you to go there.
My sister, I saw the launching of the campaign in Calabar or
Uyo, Akwa Ibom.
and I saw most of the people on stage. Almost 70% of people on stage were from PDP. Which means it's a cascade. The 16 years was cascaded to another 4 years, making it 20 years. So what are we talking about? If Buhari wants to, I'll give him something though. I'll always give him something. He's a very clean, personally in quotes, he's a clean man. He's a very disciplined man. He's a clean man. I cannot be wearing white and go and dive in a pool of mud and come out to be white. That's just my only issue. Now, 16 years of corruption have been said. We've heard about it. The music is turning to be a Michael Jackson song. We're tired. Okay, 16 years, okay. Like Baba Obasanjo said, if there wasn't any 16 years of mess from PDP and the country is not in the mess, we won't need you. We brought you in because we want you to change.
Yes.
And you're not changing dime, you're not changing crap. So we are still in the same, so let someone else, you've tried. No, honestly, he has tried. This current administration have really tried. But someone else can now take over and move it to the next level.
But if you concede that he tried, let's look at, okay, an attempt was made, just not successful.
Yeah.
So what frustrated his efforts, President Buhari's efforts? And how could this also be a pitfall for the next president, whoever that may be?
What frustrated him? If you ask him, he'll say nothing. He's done very well. But if you ask average Nigerians, they're not happy. What frustrated him? I think it's lack of planning. Lack of planning. And I think it's...
Do you think it's lack of planning, or execution of the planning?
Yeah, I was going to go somewhere.
Okay.
They had a dream. They have a dream. They had a dream of change. But I don't think they knew the capacity or the capability or this Nigeria very well enough to know what to do to help Nigeria out. If I see you like wearing nice things and everything, I want to come and help you buy some more. And I think I have the capacity until I met that what your Louis Vuitton you're buying, one is about $5,000, and I only have Naira. I have capacity. I mean, I wouldn't have performed. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think they understand the magnitude of how to run Nigeria.
So would it be more biting more than you can chew?
Yes. I don't think they really do. If he had come in and said, the only thing we want to do is to solve electricity power. That's the only thing we want to do. Nigeria will have, 4 years, and right now we're 24/7. They will have performed. And said, the next year we want to do housing. And they do it. We will have performed. But to go housing, to go electricity, to go this one, to be doing railroad, to be flying.
It's too much.
So they were spread too thin.
Yes.
Yeah. They didn't have one structure they want to put in place. I'll give you Rotimi Amechi though. He did a good job with the rail, trying to build the rail. It's the only one I see that really, in this government, that's really trying his best. He's trying his best to prove a point. But the whole structure is not right for him.
This has been a lot to take on.
I haven't even started anything yet.
Do proceed.
No.
So you're not worried.
No,
this is a democracy.
No,
Thank God for that. So you're not worried about voter apathy. You are convinced that your preferred candidate, Atiku Abubakar, will win the next election.
Not that I'm convinced. Not that I'm convinced. I'm convinced means myself personally. No, Nigerians are convinced. That will be the biggest. Abiola's case will be a small fry to what's going to happen.
Let me ask you this. Do you honestly think, in your opinion, that Nigerians are well-informed to make that decision, the right decision, to go to the polls and vote?
Yeah, Nigerians are. Let me tell you one thing. We all know where our shoes are pinching us. Nigerians have been pinched. They want a refreshment. We ask for change. You can't give us the Toro coins. No, we don't want Toro. We want, you see, I was looking at someone yesterday, Baba, you know, Abubakar, the former president,
Abdul Salam.
Abdul Salam. He was speaking without reading a speech. Baba was talking without reading any speech. How can a president not talk to us? He has to, anytime he talks, he's reading a speech. He's reading a pre-written speech. Talk to us like a human, like a Nigerian. We cannot, he has to read. Nigerians are ready, they want something different. They want to have a president that will say, yes, that's my president.
But I want to ask you, you're so convinced, okay, now you've even said not just a victory, a landslide against an incumbent president. You're that convinced. What about the Northwest geopolitical zone, which has the highest registered voters? I keep going back to voter apathy. They never have voter apathy. They come out in their droves, whereas other people stay at home. What is your plan, or what's the plan of the PDP for the Northwest?
Is that Kano?
Yes. Kwankwaso is that's your is that your ace in the hole?
Did you see the crowd that Kwankwaso brought out?
I saw them.
Kwankwaso owns Kano. No matter how much dollar you put in your pocket, Kwankwaso owns Kano. The red cap. Wait that day.
So you think the Kwankwasia can deliver in the Northwest?
Yes. That's it. The day Atiku, that's why I say he's the master strategist. They now know, if you look at it, Nigerians, let's just look at it. I'm talking to Nigerians now. What brought in our present government? That's it. Because that crowd there, you cannot beat it. The Kano state has the highest voter registration.
Yes.
And Kwankwaso has 80% of them.
As high as 80%?
Pretty much that's the whole state. That's the whole state in that.
Because I did see the sea of red caps of the
Kwankwasia,
but
you haven't seen
as high as 80%.
80%. He owns Kano. I'm telling you the truth. Now, well, look at that. Let's look at that. Let's take that away. This Lagos, you know how many Kwankwasia are in Lagos? You marvel you. In every state of the Federation. That's how strong he is.
Yet he did not clinch the presidential ticket, and Atiku did.
That's a different ball game. You want us to start from there now? Yeah. And Nigeria wants to go to church. Another time we'll talk about that.
If he's such a political juggernaut,
he is.
Why was he unable to clinch the ticket for PDP?
That's our
conversation for another day.
Another day. Thank you, my sister. But let me tell you one thing, right? Take this to the bank. Take this to the bank. It'll be the biggest landslide in this country's history. I guarantee you with everything. If it doesn't, I'll come back to this and I'll tell Nigerians I'm sorry for my prediction. But it'll be the bigger, but my fear is my fear.
What is your fear?
That's for another day.
You don't want to speak out your fears?
Not now.
Is it related to electoral malpractice by any chance?
But what I'm saying, my sister, is this. The international community is watching. If Nigeria messes up, they know, the world, the international community know they can't handle the crowd in Nigeria when we get out.
You mean it might create a refugee crisis?
Oh, they know we can't handle it, so they're watching Nigeria. You don't even know the power of Nigeria. If you look at the map of Africa, it's like a gun. And the trigger of that gun is Nigeria. If anything happens to Nigeria, this world is in a mess. So they're ready. You can't afford another June 12, because this will be worse than June 12 if it happens. So I personally believe that come February 16th, I'll be dancing and there'll be a new Nigeria. There will be a new Nigeria, I guarantee you. The new Nigeria of my choice. Where I'll be judged, not by my facial marks. I don't have any.
Or by your name, or by your
like
accent.
Wale Gomez, I can go and live somewhere else, anywhere.
That is true.
That's Nigeria I want. I want to be able to go to the north and enjoy myself. Jos, the weather I heard is beautiful.
No, it's lovely.
I can go there, not being judged that you're not outside.
Yeah.
I can go to Port Harcourt and buy land and live as a Nigerian. February 16th, a new Nigeria is going to be born.
So I want to say a new Nigeria, regardless of who comes into power.
No, it's not regardless.
Well, we know how you feel, but I'm just saying, irrespective of how you personally feel, or you seem to represent a lot of us as Nigerians with your views, I feel that it's a new Nigeria anyway, because like you said, we're paying attention, we're watching, we're more advised, and we know in what direction and the changes that we want for our country. So regardless of who comes into power, what would be your advice on the next president as a whole, making sure that the communication channels are open between his office and the office of his citizens?
Right. You see, whoever comes in, and I know who's going to come in.
Fair enough.
The first thing he needs to do is to set up an office for citizens. Citizens' office. Where you can walk in and say, I've been wronged. I'm suffering. I need money.
On a federal level or a state level?
Federal and state.
Okay.
Where you can go and say, I'm a Nigerian. I need this.
Like a constituency office of the presidency.
Of the presidency and also
That's
the
a novel idea. We don't have that.
So you can go there and say, I'm a Nigerian. I need money. I'm suffering. And then we as Nigerians, the ones that are working are helping those that are not working. Nigerian, if you take 1% of your salary and put in the pool for those that are not employed, nothing saves or stops us from doing that. 1%. Let's say your salary, which I know is more than that, is about 2 million a month. 1% of that. And then if you aggregate it over all Nigerians that are working, right? Put in the pool and assist Nigerians. The feeling of being Nigerian will be there. Then he can also have a day in a month where he can talk to us. And it's a Nigerian that if anything happens to Nigeria, he will get up and say, these are Nigerians. We're not just ordinary people, we're unique. So we need a president that will show us that he cares for us. Not caring for my religion. No, caring for us. That's the first point of success. Then, on the area of economy, trader money is I won't say.
Nice save.
Rubbish. Set up a fund. Anybody have an idea? Set up a fund. You've been collecting money from people that stole and everything. What are we doing with the money? And Nigerians are suffering. Even the exchange rate is being padded. Release all this money that you're giving to, you see the exchange rate will be almost 1,000. You are padding the exchange rate, and we all know that. Create something that Nigerians can go and, you have so many young guys, extremely intelligent young guys. They have ideas, they don't have funding. What are we doing to savings, money saved, and we have trillion, foreign reserve and everything? When Nigerians have ideas, you cannot help them out.
So education would be a great way.
Oh yes. Try to support any idea that anybody has within, of course, underwriting metrics.
So you're not impressed by the news that our foreign reserves have hit a 6-year high?
I'm hungry. I'm saving 10 million in the account at the staff. Does that make any sense? It makes absolutely no sense. Take out of, okay, let's say it's on a 6-year high. Let's say it's about, what do they call it now? 40 something?
Yeah, 43, I think it is.
$1 billion?
Yes, 43.
Yeah.
Just take $2 billion. Send it to, turn it into a fund for new development for Nigeria. Do you know how many of these young guys, these are the brains. I remember one day, like 2 weeks ago, my phone had a problem. My friend's son, I've been trying to crack this problem. My friend's son just took it. I've been trying to crack it for over 2 weeks. Just took it. Uncle, he solved it. This same guy has an idea, but no fund to help him out. He should be able to walk into a company owned by the government, transfer your fund, and then we'll fund it for you within a period of years. Set up your business, And if you have that in every state, let your local government work. They're not working.
So the local government.
I went to some local governments, and what they're doing is eating gugura and epa. I'm telling you, local governments are not working. Turn local government into a mini government. And let the federal feed the local government very well so that they can do their work. They're not working. So we have so many things to change in Nigeria, the foundation of Nigeria. So many ideas that people are not looking into to help you and I.
But does Atiku Abubakar have time? Because the reports are that he's also promising to just serve one term. Can he turn Nigeria around in 4 years?
Why not? He can.
Can anyone turn Nigeria around in 4 years? I think that's my question.
No, he can. By the time you do the first 4 years, he has a deputy that's been groomed by him. So take it out, it's still going to be him. Because his plan will be moved on. Even if it's 4 years, I'm going to beg that he does 8. But it's his choice. He says 4. Okay,
yes, he says 4.
Okay, if he's a man of his word. If he says 4, okay, after 4 years, there's someone who's a genius. It's coming in. You see the team that we'll bring out. I'm not saying you see a team. You see a team that we will bring out. It will blow your mind. You guys will just say, yes, this is the country we want. Nigerians, I pray that you don't make a mistake again. Don't make the mistake again.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez.
We really appreciate you coming. You're very
indeed.
passionate and full of life, and we appreciate you coming on. Definitely, we'll have you back in the studio.
I hope you pay for me.
Time for a break. When we come back, we will be joined by Omoshola Deji, a political analyst who will be talking on the strategies being deployed by the different political parties and their candidates for the forthcoming general election. Stay with us.